Krishna Krishna. Hariom children, it's story time again. One day, the great sage Garga Maharishi, he came to Gokul. He was the family sage, family saint of the Yadus, the family of Vasudev. When he came to Gokul, Nanda Baba told him that I have got two little children here. One, the son of Rohini, and one, the son of my Yashoda. I would love that such a great sage chooses the name of my children. Garg Maharishi said that, see, I am well known to be the family sage of Vasudev. And you know that Kamsa is already looking out for children, and especially the 8th child of Devaki. He might suspect that your son is Vasudev's son. So Nanda Baba said, we will do it in hiding. And no one will know that you gave the name to my children. But the house of Nanda Baba was so beautiful. People used to come in and out. So he said that let me take you and give these children the name in a cow shed. And what a wonderful place, because these boys loved cows, and took him to the cow shed, and Garga Maharishi gave both the children their very, very special names. And what was that? He said, the son of Rohini, the older boy, his name, because he will delight everybody, bring everybody joy, and will also be strong, mighty, his name will be Balarama. And that's how the older brother was called as Balram. And then picking up Nanda Baba's little boy, he said, this little boy has come to this world many, many times and has got many, many names. But I will tell you something very special. In this life, he has come with the dark form, with a dark complexion. We will call him Krishna. And that's how he got his name Krishna, which also one means that one who takes away, scrapes away our sorrow, our ignorance, our badness, and therefore he will be called as Krishna. And also, sometime in his past, he was also born in the house of Vasudev. So he will be called as Vasudeva. And that's how this little boy of Nanda Baba and Yashoda, maiyaa, was called as Krishna Vasudeva. And he had so many names that people called him fondly. Kanhaiya, Kishan, Krishna, Kanha, so many different names. Everybody was so fond of him, they called him by different names. That's how Krishna got his name. But we knew before only, what his name is. But this is when he got his name. Now these little boys, they started growing. Balram, of course, was little older. Krishna was little younger. They wanted to move. They were restless. They would not. If the mothers kept them on the ground or in the courtyard, they could not move, so they would hold their hands, and with their bellies they used to push themselves, and they used to look so cute. The mothers would look at them and they would be delighted that how these children wanted to move, and they wanted to go and touch something or touch something else. The mothers had a difficult time holding back these children. They were so energetic. But now they had learnt even how to crawl on their knees and their hands, and mothers had tied on their feet beautiful, beautiful bells, anklets, and all the bangles and jewels and bracelets on their hands, so that wherever these mischievous, energetic little boys would go around, they could hear them. But they had learnt how to also move without making noise. They were very, very clever. And they would go crawling here, crawling there. Mothers had such difficult time because little babies, they can be very, very energetic. They can be very, very mischievous. They wanted to touch everything. They wanted to experiment with everything. To stop them from touching fire or falling off from the parapet or being hurt by the thorns in the flowers in the courtyard. Oh, the mothers had a tough time. But they were so cute. Both Rohini Mother Rohini and Yashoda maiyaa would look at their little babies, so cute. Now that they grew even little older and they could start walking, and sometimes they used to fall down, sometimes they used to get up and start making fast steps before they fall down. And mothers used to hear the sounds of the bells on their feet, and she used to love it. Also, all the gopis from around would come to see these two little boys, Balram and Krishna, crawling around, walking, falling down gently. And these boys, they did not want to stay in the house anymore. They would just crawl out of the door. Mothers would come running and pick them up. So they put also one barricade at the door. They were so small, but they would get up, hold the barricade, and they would try to hang their neck from the barricade. Mothers used to get frightened, come running there, and then they would start crying, pretending to cry as though they are stuck on that barricade. Mother said, if you don't put the barricade, they run outside. You put the barricade and they get stuck there. They didn't know what to do. They could not do any of their housework. All the time would go on them just looking after these little boys. But in their hearts, all the mothers, all the gopis, they were so delighted to see these cute two chubby babies, one fair, one dark in complexion. They were so excited to see them. Now and then they would pick them up. But now they started growing up and started walking. Now you could not keep them in the house. They would go running. They would see, anytime they would see somebody walking, they would go behind them as though, uncle, 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 uncle. And then when they turned around and saw that they don't know, they would come running back to mommy frightened, and mothers would pick them up and give them milk to quieten them out. But their eyes used to look as though they are so frightened. Even though mummies say, don't go after strangers, but naughty children, they were running around here and there. And the gopis would come back and say, oh Yashoda maiyaa, oh Rohini maiyaa, these two boys of yours, they are so mischievous. They are so naughty. They come to our house, they untie the calves, the baby cows, and leave them to go and drink the milk of the cows before time only. And they drink away all the milk. Yashoda Maiyaa used to listen to this. At first, she used to be very, very delighted. And she said, my little one, he can go and untie the calf. They used to say, yes, he can do plenty of things. He not only unties the calf, and then when we scold him that why did you do? He says, why do you tie the calf? They should drink the milk from the cow. It is their mummy's milk. They tell us like this in their small, small, sweet, sweet, prattling voice. Yashoda Maiyaa took up Krishna and said, Krishna, why do you go and untie the calves? He says, those calves were hurting, Maiyaa, and they were hungry. So mother used to smile. Then sometimes they would run outside and they would be found hanging on to the tail of the calves, and the calves would be running around and they would be skidding, zoing, 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 zoing. They would be skidding on the road and then full of dust when the mothers would come and pick them up from the ground on the muddy roads and then bring them home. And they were always hungry, give them milk. And like that, these children delighted the whole of Gokul. They were mischievous, they were naughty, but they were not misbehaving. There is a difference between the two. I hope you know the difference. Children are always full of joy, full of laughter, full of mischief, but that's not misbehaving. But when you are rude, when you do something to hurt someone, that becomes misbehaving. When you use harsh words, when you back answer parents and elders, that's called as misbehaving. But they were delighted. But at the same time, their mischief, all the gopis would come and complain to Yashoda Maiyaa. But Yashoda Maiyaa used to be delighted. And she says, my little baby, I don't think my baby can do like that. They said, you don't know what all your baby can do. Your little boy can do. He's very, very mischievous. He's turned the whole Gokul upside down. And when Mother said, then should I scold them? No, they said, don't scold him. Don't scold him. You just stop him from doing all this mischief. One day, Balram came running to Yashoda Maiyaa and complaining, Maiyaa, 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 Kanhaiya has eaten mud. Kanhaiya has eaten mud. Mother Yashoda comes running out, and there is Kanhaiya sitting in the garden, and there she sees his hand full of mud. She comes, she's worried. Has Kanhaiya eaten mud? She goes to Kanhaiya and said, have you eaten mud? And Krishna closes his mouth and says, she says, Kanhaiya, have you eaten mud? Your brother Balram is saying that you have eaten mud. He says, no, mummy. This bhaiya of mine, this brother of mine, he always does lot of mischief and he always complains about me. Mother Yashoda looked at Balram and Balram said, see his mouth, see his mouth, see his mouth, see his mouth. Kanhaiya saw that. So he kept his mouth closed and said, I'm not talking. I'm not talking. Yashoda Maiyaa said, listen, Kanhaiya, have you eaten mud? Have you eaten mud? Open your mouth. He says, you always listen to Balram and you scold me. I have not done any such thing. Okay, look into my mouth. And when Shri Krishna opened his mouth, Yashoda Maiyaa had forgotten that once when she was feeding milk to Krishna, that she had seen something in Krishna's mouth. Now when she looked into his mouth and he opened his mouth laughing, what did she see? She saw in that mouth the whole universe, the stars, the galaxies, the sun and the solar system, the planets and all the twinkling stars. And in that she saw earth also. And in the earth she saw Gokul. And in Gokul she sees that there is she, Yashoda Maiyaa, looking into the mouth of Krishna, who is with little tears in his eyes and his mouth open. And in that mouth again she sees a universe. And in that she sees another Yashoda Maiyaa, another Krishna. She felt so dizzy, not understanding that the whole universe is in Krishna, the Lord of the universe. And Krishna was trying to say, how can I eat mud when the whole universe made up of mud is already in me? And mother, you don't need to worry. Yashoda Maiyaa felt dizzy. Was she seeing a miracle? Was she seeing some dream? Was she seeing a movie? How could she see everything in Krishna's mouth? And how can Krishna's mouth show a movie? She could not understand. So she closed her eyes. And when she closed her eyes, Krishna smiled. And Mother Yashoda forgot everything and told Krishna, Krishna, did you eat mud? And Krishna smiles and says, no, Mother, I did not eat mud. And whispered, the whole mud is in me. How can I eat? But Yashoda Maiyaa, hugging her little baby and giving a look at Balram. But Balram said, I'm telling you, Maiyaa, he eats mud. But Krishna was trying to say that the whole universe is in me. All matter is in me. All mud, everything. All the trees, the plants, the flowers, the fruits, everything. The sun, the moon, the stars are all in me, Maiyaa. So how can eating mud harm me? But Mother Yashoda, loving her little Krishna, held on to Krishna. And Kanhaiya said, see Maiyaa, this Dau, this Bhaiya, he always complains about me. And he troubles me. Maiyaa said, okay, he will not trouble you. I will tell him. No, you have to scold him. Maiyaa said, I won't scold him, but I will tell him. No, you have to scold him. Otherwise, he'll keep on. He calls up all the little boys and he starts teasing me. And then he comes and blames me for eating mud and doing all these things. He is the naughty one, Maiyaa. So Maiyaa said, okay, I know you are my darling, but he is the naughty one. One day, Dau, Balram, was teasing Krishna. Balram had long hair, which his mother Rohini used to plait, and very nice long plait and hair. And Krishna was still small, and he had curly, flossy hair. It was so beautiful. But Krishna wanted that he should also be big and his hair also should be long and he could have a small little tail. But his tail was so small that you could not make a plait. And Balram used to tease him, oh, you got a small tail, you got a small hair tail. No? So one day he comes to Yashoda Maiyaa and says, Yashoda Maiyaa, Balram has got such a big tail in his hair. What about me? Why mine is so small? Yashoda Maiyaa said, now you drink your milk and soon when you become big, your hair will also grow long and strong and then I can plait it and I can put lovely jewels in it and it will be better than Dau's. It will be better than Balram's. But Kanhaiya says, every day you tell me drink milk. But my hair is not growing like Balram's. You keep on telling me like this. Yashoda Maiyaa used to find so much delight in the sweet talk of Krishna. Do you find delight? Yes, that's the joy of Krishna. And he was just like all lovely, lovely babies. That's why we can love him, we can adore him. He's like any little baby for us. And babies are always so cute. Were you not so cute when you were a little baby? This is how Krishna is. Krishna Krishna.